Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance, and we have much to get to on the agenda for today. We have Chase with an actual decent coupon, if you will, for the Sapphire card. We have Citi teasing out potentially their hand for some new credit cards. Of course, we have another Bilt 2.0 story because why not? And for all you youngsters out there, really youngsters, I should say, Trump accounts are out, and they do have the best intro offer we've seen. So of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, batting lead off with a continued PSA or reminder, if you will. That's the Saks bankruptcy. Again, many of you, this will be relevant because you may be hoarding a bunch of Saks gift card from those platinum credits for all those years. Nothing too major here, but it is worth noting from the Wall Street Journal that they're closing about 8 regular Saks, so they're closing 8 regular Saks stores around. They're going to keep about 25 open, so they have a list of the ones that are closing. Nothing too crazy. Most of the Saks Off Fifth stores and Last Call stores were also closing down soon. That was at the end of last month. So again, I'm sure you can probably buy stuff offline for some time, but the end is near. So if you're sitting on these gift cards, go ahead and use them. I don't think there's much of a point to save them anymore. And, if nothing else, we'll get to see. I wonder how long it will take before the Platinum card actually refreshes or removes this credit and adds something new. I would at least think they should take it down. But again, you never know. You could still technically use it, I guess, at one of these random locations. So there you go. Now, about random locations, or a little less random, I should say, we are about to go to Capital One next, who has another lounge open. This time, you're looking at Capital One Landing Lounge. This is in LaGuardia Airport, LGA to open. So they've announced the Capital One Landings Lounge will open February 18th. So pretty soon, actually. They had announced this back in 2022. So, they do take some time to stand up, but there's nothing crazy in here. Food and drink by some Michelin guy. 12,500 square feet. Terminal B, it opens from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Of course, Venture X Business gets you in there. I think LaGuardia isn't LaGuardia the one they just redid? I want to say I was there in LaGuardia a year ago, and they actually did like a really good job. I don't remember. I think there were some Sky Clubs or something there, maybe. So. Not a bad place to be, I guess. Again, if you're going through there, let us know how nice it is. Most things are pretty nice when they're brand new, I'd imagine. But the overall LGA terminal or LGA airport, from what I remember, they did a really nice job on the overhaul. So nice to see there. Now, on to some government topics, because those make everyone happy. First of all is the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This over the last, number of months now, there's been back and forth about this. It is open and you can still file complaints. We have done so and done videos on them in the past. Recently, if you go to the main channel page, that's that Tales from the Bank playlist. Well, now if you're going to go file a complaint, you're going to get this pop-up message out of the CFPB. So, here we go. The Consumer Complaint Portal is designed to help consumers, including to resolve complaints against credit reporting agencies. Consistent with the law, consumers must first dispute inaccurate or incomplete information on their credit report. With the credit reporting agencies, premature submissions slow down the system for those most in need of help and who have correctly followed the process. Have you submitted your dispute to the credit reporting agency more than 45 days ago, or is your dispute with them no longer pending? ? If not, do not submit. So it looks like you get this no matter what, and before any complaint. I don't think this is going to do what they think it's going to do, but I also don't think it's the worst thing in the world to put it up there. I think a lot of folks just do rush to open a complaint as soon as something's gone wrong. Now, this isn't necessarily targeted at banks, but more so credit agencies. However, as you probably know, well, I hope you don't know, but if you don't know, when you get denied for a credit card would be the most probably useful use case here. They send you an adverse action notice whenever your credit is used and the decision doesn't go in your favor. And the letters, I've always had problems with the letters because the letters direct you back to the credit agencies. They don't really tell you why you've been denied, which is fine because, the banks don't like to tell you anything. The fear being that if we tell you, then you'll know how to scam us next time, which is not entirely untrue. However, they put it off on the credit agencies. I don't have a letter in front of me, but it goes something to the effect of, hey, we used your credit. If you think something is wrong, take it up with them, which is somewhat potentially misleading because, the credit agency just sends it over to them and the bank uses that to make a decision. So I would think if they really want to solve this problem, they should probably look more at how the banks are communicating with customers and even go down deeper into the know your customer rules. And that's where a lot of it happens, where we can said, if the bank doesn't want you as a customer, they just stop talking to you, won't tell you anything. As we think there's a good number of folks, actually probably just about everyone, who's just always waiting for the bank or credit agency to rip us off or scam us. So you might as well not waste 45 days and go straight to the agency. Plus 45 days is a ridiculous SLA. So I don't think this is going to get them what they need. If they want to fix this, they should probably look at that relationship between the bank and the customer, and also the one for the agencies. Again, it's a really weird setup where, they have our information, they make money off of it, but we're not their customers, right? That's why they've had to be pushed so hard, to make it eligible to give you, you able to get credit reports, to freeze your credit, because they don't care. They don't really have a reason to care. Their customer is the institution. So I don't think this notice is that bad. Don't be thrown if you see it. I don't think it's going to do a bit of good, but whatever. So moving right along to something that you hope you don't get denied for. You probably won't, because this is for brand new kids whose checks report should be pristine, and that is Trump accounts. Yes, we're going to talk about these as we talked about them 2 or 3 weeks ago, where the CEO of Visa had come out and said, hey, I'm going to work with the banks to make it so you can redeem your points to your Trump accounts. I don't quite know how he's going to pull that off, because it seems like all the work would be on the bank and none on Visa, but whatever. Either way, Trump accounts, they're now live, so we'll go through this because, again, regardless of how you voted, money is money, so you can take a look at this. So the Trump accounts, again, trumpaccounts.gov, now live. So it's for kids born between January 1st of 25 and December 31st of 28. Of course, you need a valid Social Security number and are eligible for a $1,000 federal contribution. It is first come, first served basis. There is an additional $250 contribution from Dell, the guy behind Dell Computers, for kids under 10 living in zip codes with a median income of $150,000 or less. There are also apparently some employers offering matches to these accounts as well. Other additional details here. If you're a parent or guardian, you can contribute, I think, about $5,000 each year to this. Employer contributions go up to $2,500. And there you go. So overall, I don't know any other account offering a $1,000 sign-up bonus. So, it doesn't have to be overly political. I would personally just say take the money. If you got a kid, why not? It's $1,000. Saying it's free, I know I said it's free. It's probably not free. It's depending on how you want to look at tax dollars, whatever, but I would take the money. I am curious to know if you're one of those people who hardcore really hates Trump for whatever reason, valid, invalid, don't really care. Do you take the money, right? Or you take a stand here and say, I'm not taking his money. I'm just curious to know people's thoughts on that. It could be famous last words even asking that question, but I am generally curious. My overall opinion is generally, hey, money has no opinion, so you might as well take it. But you let me know down below. I have no kids. We're probably going to remain kid-free through 2028, so probably won't work out for me, which is fine, but, again, you should get all the money that you can. Lord knows the government's going to take the money from you as we move into tax season anyways. Now, if you like that intro offer, well, you probably don't like what's going on the Bilt 2.0 intro offer, and that's because it's really not going great. So we talked about last week, it's specifically the TPG one. So if you remember, TPG had a specific link that you would earn 5x points for the first 5 days of having the card. And there were some issues getting that link to folks' accounts. There were some issues, I think, with delayed approvals and things like that. If you had to go to review, underwriting review, manual review, then there was an issue. So the Bilt folks here have basically someone took a screenshot of this and put this up. I grabbed this from the Doctor of Credit. We'll put it up. They're basically replying to or making a statement about these issues with the TPG link. So let's see. He says, sorry, we can't accept anything on TPG. This was a TPG offer, not us, and we were given a list of participants. In the past few days, I've received thousands of people claiming to have participated, with hundreds using the same identical screenshot. That would make sense. Clearly all shared in online groups, many also sending doctored images. He goes on to say, I'm paraphrasing, not to say that this is the case with this person specifically, but that is what it is. But the attempt at showing good faith to a new people early on is clearly backfired. Thousands of people online sending in fake requests has meant we can't honor anything beyond what TPG provided us. Sorry, not a better answer. Have always tried taking care of Bilt customers, on and on and on. So there we go. I actually don't hate the answer because it's very direct and actually tells you exactly what's going on. Like, hey, look, it's not on us. It is TPG offer. I didn't know it was a TPG specific thing. I figured Bilt had given them that link and not shared it with everybody else, all the other grifters for Bilt. And this is another reason why I don't love those promotions like that. We cover them on Run on the Bank, the second channel. We just did one on SoFi where it was like, I forget the company's name, but it was like $150 through a gift card to open up a SoFi brokerage account, which I did and we made a video on. But I think it was called Pointers or something. You get to make the count on Pointers, go through their link. At the end of it, they're going to marry everything up and then send you the gift card. But of course, if something goes wrong, SoFi has nothing to do with that part of it. So you're kind of stuck with this company who we don't know anything about. And it might turn out to be fine. It's not time to be paid out yet. I don't know. But the point is, I don't love offers when it absolves the bigger guy from having to pay out, or it goes in between. Because anytime it's going in between two companies, it's always like a they did it, no you did it thing. I totally understand his point in all fairness, because a lot of times people don't screenshot every single thing. We try to take screenshots. We always say PDF the offer, but this time around, you probably have to have a lot of images of it, you actually applying and that whole thing. So someone posts the image and you don't want to be, get ripped off. Maybe I'm sure there's a mix of people in here who didn't know that was the right offer. Maybe they signed up from one of the YouTube host links who didn't have that offer, and now they are trying to do it. So I will give them this one because I like direct answers, not a ton of marketing speak, and I do believe all the things he's saying. Behind the scenes, I do hope they're working with TPG a little bit closer on this to see what else they can do for folks. But there you go. That is the latest on Bilt 2.0. And I think it just keeps showing that it keeps stacking up, right? So yeah, this one, they're not going to get a ton of sympathy on this one because of all the other things. I'm trying to be somewhat impartial here and have, a little bit more experience than most dealing with promotions and things of that nature. So, I get it. But again, it just all kind of adds up. So, someone else trying to do promotions the right way, weirdly enough, is Chase and the Sapphire Reserve. Now, again, I shouldn't have to say this. I don't get anything for this, but I did think this was worth sharing. So if you take a look at it, we'll put up the promotional material here, but enjoy 1 year of Whoop Life with Chase Sapphire Reserve. Receive a statement credit of $359 when you use your Sapphire Reserve card to purchase a Whoop Life membership annual plan. On Whoop.com by May 12th to 26th, you must activate your offer. Of course, on Chase before you do this. There is no promotional code required. And from what I understand, you also get that wristband too. Well, it's not actually a wristband because everyone I see wearing them wears them up kind of like on their forearm, really. So wristband might not be the right term, but whatever. There's also one with a Sapphire Preferred where you get $100 off. And I think this is a good offer. I don't want it, but I think this is a good offer simply because it covers you get the little device deal and you cover the membership. If you don't know, I think this is like a fitness health tracker type deal. You've seen folks where they usually wear them like right up here. So you'd wear your watch here and it goes like up there, I think, from what I've seen people wear. But anyhow, fitness tracking, that stuff's all the rage right now. And I think you can compare it to like the Oura Ring one on the Platinum, which I didn't think the Oura Ring was necessarily terrible because what do you want the company to do? Their business model is based on subscription services, as these guys are, I'm sure. But most of us don't want to pay the subscription. We'd rather pay for the hardware, assuming the hardware will last you a few years. And this one, they're like, hey, we'll give you both. So if you were interested, again, I would just, set yourself a reminder to cancel it or something, or just double check in before you got to renew it. to make sure you feel you're getting value from that health information. So I think this is obviously won't be for everyone, but this is a credit or a coupon done the right way, because again, you get the full thing. Again, I'd read the full terms just to be sure, but make sure you activate it in your Chase offers before you go do this. So there you go. We try to give credit where credit is due, so good on Chase and the folks at Whoop. Now, last story of the day, a bank that everyone loves, hates, and loves that we hate, and hates that we love, however you want to make sense of that. It is the day after Valentine's Day. So here we go. Citi. So this came up in an investor conference, 2026 Bank of America Securities Financial Services Conference. Again, the doctor pulled these notes for us. So, incoming head of U.S. Personal Banking and incoming chief financial officer, got a lot of titles here, Gonzalo Lucci, whatever, said that credit cards would be a key focus for Citi in 2026, with more details being given on Citi's Investor Day, May 7th. So, we've got something to look forward to. He did specifically mention the loyalty ecosystem and platforms like Citi Travel, as well as merging the line between co-branded cards and private label space. And customers over the last few years really choosing with their wallet to lean more towards general purpose cards. I mean, I think he said everything's amazing. They love all of our stuff in that sentence. Because if you look at it, it's like, well, hey, yes, people like Citi Travel, but we also want to do more co-branded and private label space. But at the same time, people also like general purpose cards. That to me says we want to do all of it and people like everything, right? So more co-branded. It's probably expanding the AA lineup, I would guess. They're probably due for another co-branded partner, I would guess as well. At some point, you're kind of like, who's left? Like, who can really move the needle? We're running out of companies, really, who are left. The general purpose cards, to me, seems double cash, custom cash, maybe even the basic Strata card in that lineup as well. Or he could be looking at them as just the core Citi cards. You could sort of call the Premier and the Elite cards general use cards. I wouldn't, but you could. Without more detail where his head's at, you could make that claim. And, you think about it, it has been quite a while since the custom cash came out. There's just not a ton, but they just did a ton of stuff with the Strata card. So I don't know if we're going to see anything in that line. Maybe we could be looking at more redemption options, perhaps. Doesn't mean they'll be good or anything like that, but more redemption options, more way to use your points. But either way, it's a good focus. I mean, there's not really enough here to start over speculating, I would say. But I would say the last few years have been focused on the Strata line. It would be nice to see them throw in maybe something that goes against the Wells Fargo Attune card, which is a lot of 4%. No one really has a competitor for that card. I don't think they want to go category card. The Citi Dividend card was their category card years ago, and they got out of that business. So as far as general use card, I think maybe something to combat the Attune would be the way to go. It's the only real hole in the lineup. And then, yeah, I can definitely see them adding more American cards. And then we just had that survey the last week we talked about with the business side as well. And then maybe one other player. So overall, I do like Citi. I like their products a lot. We wish they were better as a bank, but hey, we'll take what we can get in this space. So anyways, let me know what you want to see from Citi as well as all the rest of it down below, because that has been the news for this week. So of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel, as we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, which is the channel's blog. It's always linked down below for you, as well as on the channel homepage. We post news stories just like this, plenty of bank promotions. I know we have some from Citi. And of course, we have credit card offers as well. And those offers will stick at application, I assure you. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.